Hello, sixth graders. Today we're going to be adding and subtracting mixed numbers. Follow along closely today as we're solving these problems. In a national test, 8th grade students answered the problem shown in the top of the table at the right. Here's the problem. Also shown are the 5 possible answers they were given and the percent of students who chose each answer. Here's the problem. It's 12/13 plus 7/8. Okay? Says estimate the answer to 12/13 plus 7/8. You will not have enough time to solve the problem using paper and pencil. So here's your possible answers. It's A would be 1, B is 2, C is 19, D is 21, and E is I don't know. The percent that chose these for A, 1 would be 7%, B2 would be 24%, C 19 is 28%, and D 21 is 27%, and E I don't know is 14%. Now, what would you get when you're solving these? The first problem says this. What mistake do you think the students who chose C made? So the kids that picked 19, which was 28% of them, how did they think they got that wrong? 12/13 plus 7/8. You know what they probably did? They just added the numerators. They added the numerators. They did 12 plus 7. That's how they got 19. Explain why B is the best answer. Now let's take a look. Why do you think B is 2? Well, the reason why B is the best answer is because 12/13 is very close to 1, which would be 13/13. And 7/12 is the same as 1, which would be 8/8 would be 1. So 1 plus 1 is 2. So we can just write down because 12/13 and 7/8 are close to 1. 1 plus 1 equals 2. Let's keep going. A board is 6 3/8 inches long. Verna wants to cut enough so that she will be able to be at 5 1/8 inches long. How much does she cut? So we have 6 3/8 minus 5 1/8. Now, when you're subtracting mixed numbers, you have to take a look. Do they have a common denominator? Yes, they have a common denominator. They both have an 8. The next thing you have to look at is the numerator on the left, which is the 3. Is it larger than the numerator on the right, which is 1? It sure is. And then is 6 bigger than 5? It is. So then you can simply just subtract across. Subtract the big numbers. 6 minus 5 is 1. 3 minus 1 is 2, and we keep the 8. Now we have to reduce this then though, because 1 2/8 is not the smallest possible term. So we would have to subtract that down to be 1 1/4, because we're going to divide by 2. Divide by 2. 1 1/4, and unit says inches. Let's move on. Tim is making paper mache. Their recipe calls for 1 3/4 cups of paste, using only a 1/2 cup, a 1/4 cup, and a 1/3 cup measures. How can he measure the correct amount? Let's take a look here. In order for him to get 1, let's get this whole, he'd have to use 2 half cups. Right? 2 half cups would get him to the 1. And he would have to do 3 1/4 cups. Then he would be able to solve it. Okay. He could also do 3 half cups and 1 1/4 cup. Then he'd be able to make his paper mache. Let's go ahead and add some mixed numbers. First of all, when we're adding mixed numbers, do we have common denominators? We do. We both have a 4. So then we can simply just add across. We have the big numbers, 3 plus 1. So we have 3 1/4 plus 1 1/4. The 3 and the 1 we can add up to get 4. We can add the numerators to be a 2, and then we keep the 4. We have to reduce this down. 4 2/4. We divide both by 2. So the answer is 4 1/2. Moving on. 4 minus 2 1/4. Now, watch really closely how I solve this, because I can't simply just subtract and get 2 1/4, okay? I know some of you right now, you're going to see this, you go 2 1/4. 4 minus 2 1/4. It does not equal 2 1/4. Because if you think about it, 2 and 1/4 plus 2 and 1/4 doesn't equal 4. So watch closely on how I solve this. So I'm going to take a look at this 4 here. I'm going to change this 4 into something else. I'm going to change it into a 3 with a 4 over 4. Watch closely. I pick 4 because I have a 4 here because I want to keep the same denominator. 3 and 4 and 4 minus 2 and 1/4. Now watch closely. The 4's are the same, so I have common denominators. The 4 on my left is bigger than the 1 on my right. The numerator on my left is bigger than the numerator on my right, and then my whole numbers are bigger. So now when I subtract this, I go with big numbers. 3 minus 2 is 1. I subtract the numerators. 4 minus 1 is 3/4. 1 and 3/4 is my answer. Doesn't that make much more sense than 2 and 1/4? Because if you think about it, 1 and 3/4 plus 2 and 1/4, when I add them up, equals 3 and 4 over 4, which should be the same thing as 4 for an answer. 1 and 2/3 plus 2/3. Easy, common denominators are the same. So I have 1, add the 2's up, 4/3. Watch closely on how to solve this. And I treat this like a clock, so watch very close. I have 1 and 4/3. I treat it like this. We run it like a clock because clocks go in this direction, okay? My denominator times my whole number is 3 plus the 4. So I'm multiplying and then I'm adding. So 3 times 1 is 3 plus 4 is 7/3. That's one way of writing the answer. Okay, watch closely on how I did that. Okay, so that's the same thing as 7/3. But watch here, I have to change 1 and 4/3 into a mixed number. So if I have 7 over 3, watch how I'd break this down. How many 3's go into 7? 2. What's left over? 1/3. That's one way of getting 2 and 1/3. Here's another way. How many 3's go into 4? So the same thing as 4/3. 1, 3 goes into 4, and I have 1/3 left over. I'm going to take this 1, I'm going to add it to this 1, so I have 2 and 1/3 as well. You're probably like, whoa, Mr. Green, I just zoned out for like 10 seconds, and now you have numbers all over this board, and I'm lost. Don't worry, we're going to be doing a lot more practice. You can always rewind and watch this as well. Circle the numbers that are equivalent to 2 and 3/4. So let's take a look here. There's a variety of different ways to write 2 and 3/4. So we're just going to show you this way that I just got done showing. So if I multiply then add, so if I multiply 4 times 2, if I add the 3, because this is the reason why I'm multiplying these two, because this 2 is really like 4 over 4. So 4 times 2 is 8 plus 3 is 11 over 4. Okay, do I have anything up here that's 11 over 4? Right here I have 11 over 4. I know this won't work. I know this won't work. How about 1 and 7/4? Let's take a look here. 4 times 1 is 4, plus 7 is 11 over 4. That is the same there. I'm going to mark that one correct as well. Let's keep going here. Solve mentally. Now let's watch closely. How could I solve this mentally? I'm going to work it out to show you how to solve it mentally. This number is really close to 20. I know 5 times 20 is 100. But since it wasn't exactly at 20, I have to subtract in my head 20 minus 18, which would be 2. 5 times 2 is 10. I'd be subtracting, so that means 5 times 18 is 90. That's how you would solve that mentally. Here's another one. 6 times 41. So 6 times 40 would give me 240, right? 6 times 1 is 6. So I'm adding 6 to that, so the answer is 246. Here's another one. 9 times 48. Watch close. 9 times 50 is 450, right? Because 9 times 5 is 45, plus the 0. But we're too short. So 9 times 2 is 18. I have to subtract 18 from this, which would be 432. 432 is my answer. Last one. 7 times 45. You're like, I can't do that mentally. But you can do 7 times 40, which is 280, because 7 times 4 is 28. And you can do 7 times 35. I apologize. 7 times 5, which equals 35. Now, if I add those up in my head, I get 315. That's how you can solve mentally. We'll be doing a lot more practice with mixed numbers in the future, but hopefully today was a nice intro or a nice refresher from last year. Good luck, and I look forward to working with you in math today.